Coming up, a terrifying crime in Cleveland leaves a 41-year-old man dead. Gun control advocates love to talk about guns causing crime. Could a gun have prevented this crime? The NRA's Wayne LaPierre joins me next. Well, earlier this week in Cleveland, a group of about 15 men attacked a man right out in the street. Neighbors called police, 911. You should hear the 911 calls. The men brutally beat this man to death. They pulled off all of his clothes. One man then urinated on the dead man's head. It is a terrible, horrific crime, one that, like so many others, may have had a different outcome if somebody in the neighborhood had a gun or if everybody in the neighborhood had a gun. I mean, I grew up on my grandfather's street. You know, I spent summers on my grandfather's street, and when there was a problem in the neighborhood, everybody got their gun and went to the neighbor's house. The media loves to tell us about all these stories about crimes that were committed with guns, but how many crimes would have been prevented by guns? Tonight, we continue our week-long series on the Second Amendment with Executive Vice President of the NRA, Wayne LaPierre. Hello, Wayne.
Hi, Glenn. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Everybody is focused on how guns cause crime. How about some of the stories where guns prevented crime?
Yeah, you're exactly right. And we know from all the figures that happens 2.5 to 3 million times a year. The honest people use a firearm to defend themselves against some criminal that ought to be in jail.
Wait. Say that number again.
2.5 to 3 million times a year, the good guys use a firearm against the bad guys that ought to be in jail but are out somehow walking the streets.
Where are you coming up with that number, Wayne? Go ahead.
Every researcher has come up with those figures. Gary Kleck, University of Florida, all kinds of other researchers. That's the number. You know, we read about it in the paper. It's usually on page 17 or 18 rather than page 1.
No, you don't. You know what? I have to tell you, you don't read about it in the newspaper. What you do read about in the newspaper is a guy from Pizza Hut going to deliver a pizza. He's got a gun. He shoots a guy. This guy gets fired because the guy who he knocked on the door had a gun trying to rob him, and Pizza Hut says he shouldn't have been carrying a gun.
Yeah, it's outrageous. I mean, we see an attack on the personal protection rights of workers coming out of some of these arrogant corporate legal staffs in conjunction with the anti-gun groups. And they're trying right now to put parking lots all over the country off limits to firearms.
Right.
Well, you know, it's an attack on the second and third shift personal protection rights to protect themselves of their workers.
Right. If you're walking out, or my wife was walking out in the middle of the night, she had to go out to a parking garage or a parking space across the street. I want my wife to be able to protect her if she had a permit for her gun and she knew what she was doing on that. Georgia is actually, last night, didn't they come up with what is it, Bill 89, I think?
Yes, they sure did, and the week before Florida did too.
And what is it?
It's a bill that says if you have a right to carry permit, and keep in mind 40 states now have that law, that you're entitled to take that firearm and have it in the trunk of your car while you're at work, so when you get off work at 1 or 2 in the morning, you can protect yourself on the way home. And the company cannot prohibit you from having the firearm in the trunk of your car while you're at work.
It really amazes me, Wayne, that because I talked about this earlier this week, that cities like Philadelphia, where they had a cop killed here just recently, over and over and over, these police officers are killed. Chicago says, oh, our cops are in the line of fire and they're outgunned, and yet what do? The city and the state come up and they say, we need stronger gun laws. No, you don't. You need to enforce the ones you have, and you need to put the criminals behind bars.
That's exactly right. And everyone knows the criminal justice system in the city of Philadelphia is a shameful wreck. The local prosecutors say that the judges don't do their jobs and put these criminals in jail. The U.S. attorney said the problem in Philadelphia is a felon can put a gun in his pocket and walk out on the street and has no appreciation that he'll ever do any jail time if he gets caught. They have a completely collapsed criminal justice system up there, and that's the problem.
15 seconds. Any of these candidates any good on guns, or which is the one? 15 seconds. Give me the one that you say absolutely, please, dear God, not that guy.
Well, I'll tell you, neither
president?
Hillary or Obama, I mean, I know they're pandering to gun owners by claiming to be pro-Second Amendment.
Right.
It's an embarrassment, and it won't work.
Okay.
They both try to do everything to destroy the Second Amendment in Washington.
Wayne, thank you very much. And don't forget, we're running exclusive commentary all week in my free email newsletter about the Second Amendment. Tomorrow's edition, hopefully feature that piece from John McCain. If you just stop campaigning for a second and actually write it, go over to glennbeck.com right now and sign up. It's completely free.